equation mathematically. David Keith, again, the world's most recognized geoengineer, stating a goal of 20 million tons annually. That would equate to perhaps 600 to 800 tankers, military tankers, dispersing 60 to 70 tons per day, 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, we know we have a different equation than that because we have commercial aircraft involved as well. We're not implicating commercial pilots, not implicating commercial personnel. These systems are automated, but we know that their planes are being used because, again, we have photographs of the nozzles mounted on the pylons aimed into the engine exhaust, and we have flight tracker from the ground. We can monitor these planes. We have them on film, spraying, turning on and off, so they're being used also. So we're talking about an unimaginable amount of materials, George. This is a climate engineering Manhattan project.
The tic-tac-toe patterns that we see in the sky, what are they?
Many people see the X's and other grid-type patterns, and we can speculate on some of that, but it appears, at least in the case of some of the X's that appear, that may be a way for them to more easily track the movement of air currents from satellite imagery. So, again, we can speculate about that, but the fact that these are not condensation trails, they're particulate trails, it's indisputable if we look at all the data, testing, film footage, photographs of nozzles, patents, government documents, etc., etc. This is absolutely going on.
Who's paying for this? The taxpayer?
No. I think if we know about the financial system, George, we know that the central bankers can and do print whatever they want. So when the Pentagon is missing officially $8.5 trillion since the late 90s.
They can't find it.
How do you lose that much?
Yeah, really.
So the bottom line is, so long as we have the petrodollar, the dollar is the global reserve currency, which is why I think we can safely say that Saudi Arabia was not on the list of travel bans, because if they stopped using the petrodollar, that would be the end of the road for the empire. So we have a very complex scenario, but the central bankers, the petrodollar, the dollar being the global reserve currency, that's what's allowed the U.S. empire to expand to the level it has. And this is something people need to understand and realize, that the 100 or 700 and something bases abroad that in the 150 plus countries, this is not about freedom and democracy. It's about resources.
Dane, there's a blizzard warning in Hawaii. What the heck is happening?
Well, at the same time, though, we have staggeringly warm temperatures at both poles. Let's plug that into the equation.
Yeah.
They can chemically nucleate snow over the pyramids, over Hawaii, in Dubai, anywhere to make the headlines they want. But what you don't see, George, is the last two Christmases in a row, at Christmas Day, we had 40 degrees and rain at the North Pole. Right now, we have record warm temperatures, North and South Pole. We just had all-time record high set in Antarctica yesterday of nearly 70 degrees, 65 degrees in Antarctica. We don't hear about that. That's about 80 degrees above normal, 80 degrees above normal. So I encourage people to simply, again, not believe me, look at the bigger picture, look past the spun-baited headlines that are designed to confuse them and divide them as to the true state of the climate. That's what climate engineering is for. That's one of the primary objectives.
Let's take some calls, as promised. Let's go east of the Rockies in Georgia. Gary is with us on Coast to Coast. Gary, welcome to the program. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
First time through, sir. I've called many times. I listen every chance I get.
Well, thank you.
I'm a police officer. I'm on duty, but I've been taking notes. This is important. 40 minutes before you mentioned it, I wrote down seed germination. I have been a gardener all my life. I have seen up to a 70% decrease in germination in certain seeds, and I attribute that to these metal particles that are affecting microbes in the soil. The second point that I wanted to make, and I've heard this brought up, and I've heard George bring it up, that aggression. What's happening with aggression? We are collecting these particles in our bodies, and we are exposed to all these electromagnetic fields from everything, from our cell phones, power lines, from office equipment. And I attribute, if you will consider that the people who have dementia, Alzheimer's, how some of these people, they could be a minister for 50 years, and then they turn into a vile, profaning individual. When this strikes them, it affects those centers in their brain that causes them to have this hostility. I believe that these particles are responsible for some of the aggression, and I am a police officer, have been since '94.
And thank you for serving, by the way, there.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I believe that this can be attributed to some of the road rage and aggression that was not before. Like I said, since '94, this thing has increased exponentially. Since I'm on duty, I will make one more comment. Then I will listen to your answer off the air.
All right.
The Holy Bible says that in the end time, you will neither be able to sow nor reap. This goes to this germination problem that I haven't personally seen. And there was another point. Let me see what it was. And it also says that there'll be brother against brother, and all of this about the aggression. And it also says